I'm Arturo Lorenzo, and this is Reality Suggestion, because guess what? It's 2023, baby, and it doesn't matter what you believe. You know, you can be whatever you want to believe. That's what America's all about. And today, we're launching this new podcast, Reality Suggestion with Arturo Lorenzo, and we're going to talk about the Easter Bunny and Easter, all right? And how do you feel about Easter? Did you grow up in Easter?
Yeah, my family did Easter. We had big Easters at my house. It was very, born again Christian household. You had to go.
Born again Christians, huh? Well, let's see if this shakes your faith, because I don't know if you know about this, but Easter, the Easter holiday, is did you know that it has pagan roots in it? So it's not very Christian, as they might say.
Much like all the other holidays.
It's because the origins are believed to lie like in pre-Christian pagan traditions, right? Like the celebration of the spring equinox, if you think about it, right? Like we're going right into spring, which is like a time for renewal and rebirth. And apparently, in some pagan society, the goddess Yastra or Ostera or Pussalaya, was believed to, hey, maybe that's where Pussalaya came from, was believed to, bring fertility to the land of the people, right? And as Christianity spread through Europe, right, how do you, how do you convince more members on to be like, oh, you know the sales pitch. The sales pitch is like, oh, yeah, listen, if you're in sales, you know that, you're talking to a prospect and they're like, oh, I'm not sure if what you have is going to solve my problem or not. And the salesperson's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm sure we can find a way. It's like they are perfect at overcoming objections. And you not buying from is an objection, so.
Okay, so it's all just a big sales pitch.
It's all a con.
Is Jesus the big salesman then? Or is it his disciples?
That's racist. I don't know. It is, who could it be like, somebody's like, oh, like Ray Kroc.
There should be McDonald's everywhere, Mr.
They're like, so you tell me there's this fucking guy named Jesus that thought he was the son of God? And that they put him inside a cave and that he survived without water up to 3 days and then he was able to pry himself open and people thought that he came back to life.
Interesting.
I can work with that. You know what I hear, baby? I hear an origin story. But speaking of origin stories, right? Easter, the celebration of the spring equinox became associated with the resurrection of Jesus, and Easter was born, right? But some historians believe that this was actually the date was specifically chosen to coincide with the pagan festival in order to make Christianity more appealing, right? You need to sell it to them. It's like, yeah, no, look, we have the same holidays, we're the same,
Same.
It's like, do you believe in equality? Yes, and you're a feminist. It means the same thing. Yeah.
I like that, yeah. Well,
right? It's same, but maybe different.
Yeah.
Easter has also been associated with some darker aspects of history, right? Sometimes there used to be attacks leading up to Easter on Jews because they thought that they were responsible for killing Jesus Christ. So there'd be a lot of more anti-Semitic violence.
That makes sense.
Coming up.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, super fucked up. But we live in America, so everything gets commercialized. You go get chocolate bunnies. You buy a little eggs. There's all these egg-shaped things everywhere, bunny-shaped things everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Did your family celebrate Easter?
Easter is much more religious holiday in Peru. So it's much more going to mass.
So you guys just have to go to church?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not. we love branding here, as we've discovered.
Yeah.
I mean, this is America, baby. Ray Kroc said it, it's in the name, McDonald's. It can be whatever you want it to be,
Well, McDonald's just beat laid off in a whole bunch of people. I heard so.
Did they?
Yeah, they're supposed to after this weekend or right before this weekend or something like that. They closed all the corporate offices to send out their sad letters right before the Easter holiday or right after.
That's terrible.
For shame, McDonald's. It could be whatever you want it to be, except employment.
Except a job. It can be whatever you want to be, but clear your locker by this fucking afternoon, please.
That's right.
But do you know that there's always been this connection here, at least in the U.S., between the Easter Bunny and eggs, and it's believed to be because of these pagan festivals, right? Like the Germanic people, for example, worship the goddess Easter or Ostera, and the egg is like Easter was often depicted with a bunny rabbit, right, which is considered a symbol of fertility and new life due to its high reproductive rate in association with the moon, which you and I both know that rabbits can reproduce very quickly.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like baby bunny becomes sexually mature, I think, as soon as 5-6 months. And then once they give birth, they can become immediately pregnant. Obviously, it's not recommended because they will still need to have enough energy to feed their babies.
Mm-hmm.
But they can become immediately pregnant and have another litter. They have litters every 31 days.
Oh, wow.
Your dough is not going to be able to keep up if you breed her at that rate. But theoretically, you could do high volume like that. And that's a bunny is fertility, which almost you don't think when you think about a bunny, Easter bunny, like the fertility part's kind of left out, and I'm glad that it is. Like I don't want a grown man dressed up in fertility, like in bunny outfits, preaching about fertility to kids. Not in my America. But so they start incorporating like a lot of these like traditions from pagan religions and other people into it. So now the association with the eggs was probably, or at least it seems like it was probably already associated with the egg being already like a symbol of new life. And sometimes they were decorated with like designs or paint on it and given as gifts, I painted you this egg, like very crafty and a very, very craftful society, I guess we had at the time. You see the spring festivals, you see these eggs, the beginning of the season, right? Eggs represents the resurrection of Jesus and the empty tomb he left behind, starts getting associated with that. And now basically we have the commercial Easter today, right? But you just asked me a great question a moment ago, right? Like, did we celebrate Easter? And people celebrate Easter in different ways, right? Because if you think about it, if it's a Christian or Judeo-Christian holiday, you're gonna have it in other places. And I looked some of this stuff up, and there is one tradition called the dancing egg. It is like popular in medieval Europe, and it involved rolling a hard-boiled egg down a hill. And the person whose egg rolled the farthest without breaking would win.
That is a terrible prize.
I mean, like, how far can you roll an egg down a hill without it breaking?
We used to play that game, actually, when I was a kid. I didn't know it was a...
You and your wilding stories. You rolled eggs as a kid?
Yeah, we did the egg tapping
Is this
thing.
1838?
What? No, there was a lot of us. We did a lot of crafty things. We also used to, like, most of our eggs weren't even the ones that we dyed. We would hollow them out and fill them with, like, paint them and then fill them with glitter. And you put tape on the end and then crack them on people's heads for good luck. We just liked to because it was a mess. So
Okay. Well, I guess it's not as odd after all. How about this one?
White people.
Yeah, white people. They love a branded event.
Exactly.
The Easter water. In some parts of Europe, it was believed that water drawn on Easter morning had healing properties. very pagan-y, you know,
Very
like
pagan-y.
very pagan-y.
Whatever, Catholics and their holy water.
Hey, listen.
Their magic water.
Hey, listen, you know, like I did a paper in middle school on the Wiccan religion, and you can do all kinds of things to water with water by moonlight and all this shit.
Moon
Moonlight, a
water.
movie that I still need to watch. So people would like drink it or bathe in it, you know, to try to get their ailments cured.
Well, like my friend, she puts her moon water out every full moon, all her bottles of water, and soaks up the moonlight and then drinks it throughout the month.
Does your friend go to therapy?
I don't know.
Oh, she should start.
That's terrible.
I'm just kidding. We support therapy because we support scams. You know, like
The fuck, Arturo.
I would argue, like, listen, this is my gripe about fucking therapy, okay? Like, would you say that we're much more disconnected in the digital age because of all these social media things and whatnot, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, back in the day, and especially, right, like back in the day where, you know, like the system, you know, this whatever, you know, whether it's self-generating or control system that we live into that really squeezes you out to where people can't live on a single an entire family can live on a single income.
Mm-hmm.
Things cost more. You know, you always need more, and there's less self-sufficiency,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you would have families, right, and neighborliness and whatnot, right? So you
Sure.
would have like and apprenticeships and whatnot, right? So you would have quite a web of support people
Sure.
that theoretically, I mean, that's all you're talking to a therapist, somebody will listen that, you know, like can maybe give you a different perspective than whatever the situation or trauma or help that you need at the time that you're
Sure.
dealing with, that hopefully has some perspective. And there's variability, right, in that support. But now we're also disconnected, and it's like we've created a self, you know, like it's like me saying, oh, like I'm gonna chop my leg off, and what the hell? I don't think I can walk on two legs anymore. I think I need some crutches, aka these crutches being the therapy. It's like, how about you just don't cut your fucking leg off? How about you just log off? You know, stop going on TikTok, read a goddamn book, talk to your goddamn neighbor, you know, see some people in real life. Don't multiplayer online, right? Like, these goddamn kids on my fucking lawn.
So you're saying it's isolation?
It's isolation. You need to, like, people, I think, forget about the human component of being human, right? Like, we're not entirely animals, but we are animals, and our emotion, like there's our reason or our emotions, right? And I reason that because of our emotions, it allows us to, uh, you know, as for all the things that it allows us to do, it allows us to experience beauty. It allows us to experience love. Like, you know, some of the things that are, I'd say most humans would say that are the most important things in their life, right? And so just by being a reason, they're incredibly valuable, right? But as I always say, humans are like emotions are not good for making decisions, right? Because they are, you know, they're entirely subjective, you know, like, and they can match up with reality, right? Because or not, right? Sometimes, you know, they have this saying that it's like, you know, there's always three stories: one person's perspective, the other person's perspective, and reality, right? It's like, you know, it's how do you, like, our memories are not perfect copies. Our emotions, like, are carrying layers of everything that, you know, kind of like what's that movie with that Disney movie with the emotions inside?
Yeah, I fell asleep during that one.
That's a good one, but
Is
with the
it?
little characters. But yeah, very complex, layered, right? It'll like tied into our memory of it, right? Like so. Yeah, I think we need to connect more. Like people, like, you know, like I think are very ashamed of their genetic past. You know, like almost where we come from and what makes us, like, you don't want to be a robot. Like that's a
No.
horrible life, you know, like, and there's beauty in humanity, right? Like Vision in one of those Marvel movies, right? He's like, they're doomed, whatever. Yeah, but a thing is not beautiful because it lasts, like, and that's what life is, life is short. Uh, and I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, nothing.
But so there's all these kinds of different interpretations of, like I guess, with that life is short, right? People are living in different ways. There's the burning of the Judas, right? In some Latin American countries. I don't know if they did this in Peru. I don't remember, but they burned Judas, like for his betrayal.
It reminds me of burning the Guy Fawkes doll.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
dummies in
yeah,
England,
yeah.
use a penny for a guy.
Yeah.
So that's pretty barbaric, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. And there's some other weird ones, right? Like pace egg plays, which in some parts of northern England, a tradition called involves a group of performers enacting a dramatic reenactment of the Easter story. So I don't know what the hell that means.
So
Mhm.
the Easter story, like the Christian Easter story, so like Jesus and all of that, so they reenact.
Yeah. I guess like reenactments, kind of like the Game of Thrones thing that they had.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, I guess, right?
I don't know. I've been to lots of them, and I find them pretty brutal, pretty barbaric.
Hmm.
Yeah, like why would we want to watch that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Catholics, man.
There's this one called the Hawks Ooze in
Hulk's
Scotland.
ooze?
Like it was traditional for boys to go door to door begging for eggs on Easter Sunday. They would sing a special song and were sometimes given money or other gifts instead of eggs. Try that in Texas. Like,
So kind of like Halloween, though.
you on my property, boy? Did you not see the sign?
Also, is it called Hulk's ooze? Because it sounds like Hulk smash, Hulk's ooze. Does it not?
Yeah, it's spelled differently though.
Okay.
A game called egg tapping, involved tapping two hard-boiled eggs together, and the person whose egg remains uncracked is declared the winner.
We did that.
What?
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, with your dyed eggs, that's what you do with them afterwards, because you gotta. You know what I think it is? It's like as you were saying all this, I was like, Americans love playing with our food, don't we? We like rolling it down the hill. We like.
I think that's one of your
tapping it.
British
We like
traditions.
throwing
Where
it.
did you get it? Maybe?
My family always did it. We egg rolled. We egg tapped. I
But
don't
maybe
know.
that comes from your mom.
I don't know. My mom always did lots of fun things with us for Easter, actually.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's like, because a lot of this is the European tradition, like it
Yeah.
says in Europe.
That's
so.
what I'm saying. White people love to play with our food. So
Some places have parade, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? And like, I guess, like you start looking at symbols, right? And you like, it's like, how do these things stick around? And does it make sense? Does it matter, right? Is it exploited, right? Like if you were,
well, it's traditions.
it's traditions, right? Like,
It's interacting with your family, right?
but yeah, but it like no, and it's beautiful, right? Like, but what I like is like where do these? It's very interesting how these traditions evolve, right? And
Yeah.
like what like we associate like there's like we're so like we have basically pagan imagery all over America or whatever, right? Do you think like hardcore Christians go crazy about
Of course not.
all the no?
They love their Easter bunny. They're gonna line up at the mall to get their picture taken with him.
Yeah. Is the Easter Bunny technically a false god, a deity, right?
He absolutely is.
You know
Yes.
what I'm gonna ask? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Does the Easter Bunny have any superpowers?
Oh my gosh, he can lay eggs, I would assume.
Yeah, right. Like,
When my son was little, we didn't do the Easter bunny, we did the Easter dragon because I thought it made more sense that a dragon lays eggs. And dragons are cooler than bunnies. But then I got him a bunny and told him it was a dragon.
really?
Yeah, that's why we had rabbits. It's
Oh,
the
wow.
Easter dragon.
Well, the Easter Bunny, as a fictional character, does not have any official superpowers. However, in popular culture, the Easter Bunny is often depicted as having magical abilities, such as the ability to lay eggs, boom,
Okay.
or to deliver eggs to children all over the world in a single night.
Yeah.
So, in a single night, what?
Did you
Easter Bunny has Santa fucking powers.
It does, yeah. He used to hide eggs at our house.
Hold on, it can go. Okay, so there is some commonality here, right? Like, if you were gonna go down the bunny hole, like, now there are two fictional creatures, the Easter Bunny and Santa, that have a common superpower, which is to travel around the world
in a single night.
In a single night, right? So,
well, but the Easter Bunny doesn't have to bring anything special. He's just bringing eggs filled with candy. So there's nothing specific to any child necessarily, right? It's just eggs.
Yeah.
So he could be doing it quicker, and he can run fast. He's got powerful bunny legs.
Well, you know what it says. It also says that some depictions also show the Easter Bunny as having the ability to communicate with other animals.
What?
Or to fly using its large ears as wings. Yeah, but it's like, imagine, right? Like the Easter Bunny versus Santa. They're like, if you think about it, Easter Bunny comes in spring. Or what if, oh my God, what if Santa is the Easter Bunny?
What do you mean?
What if there is no real Easter Bunny, Like it's never been a bunny. It's Santa, or like maybe Santa's a shapeshifter, like, because is it a coincidence that they have the exact same power? Santa already makes toys, right? Easter Bunny apparently makes eggs or lays eggs or can deliver eggs, right?
Right.
We never see any imagery of the actual bunny laying them, right? So maybe he's like, okay, Christmas is done, boys. We shut down the toy store, the toy shop, and now let's go out to our chicken tractors, because it's egg delivery time. Yeah.
So he needs an off-season job to get him
Off-season
through.
job,
Okay.
like, they probably, like, he probably shaves all his hair, and that's what he makes, the effigy of the Easter Bunny out of, like.
That's why it's so fluffy and white.
Exactly,
'Cause it's his
like
beard.
it's the inside of his coat.
Oh, okay. He flips it
like
around.
as it's ready, he turns it around,
And now he's a bunny.
Like he turns it around, and now he's a bunny.
Yeah.
And like he can go all over.
Does
And
he
he's
still have like reindeer pulling his sleigh?
I don't think he needs it, right?
Because it's not snowy, so he would need something else. Or he just hops, maybe.
Yeah,
He
maybe
just runs really fast.
Maybe like he, maybe he's a shapeshifter.
Maybe I think that the Easter Bunny is actually just a pissed off employee that stole some trade secrets, And now he's just doing his own thing. He's like, I'll do it, old man, but better.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask GPT who would win in a battle between the Easter Bunny
I wonder who would.
and Santa.
Santa.
Yeah, let's see. Come on, ChatGPT. It has a lot to say on this.
Really? Thank goodness for the internet.
There is no canonical resource to suggest who would win in such a hypothetical scenario. You heard it here first. Santa versus the Easter Bunny. Make it happen. Like he says, the Easter Bunny is typically associated with Easter and is known for delivering Easter eggs to children, while Santa Claus is associated with Christmas and is known for delivering gifts to children around the world. It says it is important to remember that these characters are intended to bring joy and happiness to people, and any comparison or competition between them should be viewed in a lighthearted and playful manner. Listen, this is the AI trying to control my thoughts. Don't tell me what to feel. You don't know what a human. Listen, if you're a human, you know the deliciousness of wanting to see. You know what? Give me a celebrity death match. Easter Bunny versus, the clay.
Yeah.
Easter Bunny versus Santa.
Easter Bunny
wanna
versus
see that.
Santa. I think Santa would win though because he has more verifiable magical powers.
Which ones?
In the Santa lore, I mean, he can shrink down really small and go through chimneys.
Oh, like he would shrink down inside the Easter Bunny and just explode him from the inside?
Well, I didn't think about that until you just said it, but yes, now. But this is what I'm saying. He's got more
Ant-Man powers.
He's got more powers, though, period. And surely he can use those to his advantage versus being able to run around the entire world in one night. Although, I guess, does the Easter Bunny have, like, the Flash powers? Can it run back in time?
Oh, I don't know. There's no time thing here. But anyways, like there's some crazy stories about Easter, and we'll have to figure out some of these more hypothetical, mythical beast scenarios.
I like it.
Well, whether you celebrate Easter by, putting on a Santa costume and an Easter Bunny costume and beating the shit out of your brother-in-law in the backyard, or you roll an egg down a hill. Happy Easter. This has been Reality. This is a gesture, baby.